We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hi, so hello everybody, and a very good morning to all of you those who are watching. And today, what questions do we have?
Of course. So the first question or future question for today is what is the relevance and importance of a personal statement in an EB1A application?
Oh, it's one of the most, I would say, the most one of the most important documents, and your petition should not be complete without this actually. And one of the reasons for this is that please remember that there are three reasons for which your application is based on. First, that you are an expert, for which you use the 10 criteria. Second is that your presence will benefit the US, and third, you will continue in the field of expertise. Now, for the second and third point, this becomes your moot actually here. That how are you going to establish your own credibility, establish your own, kind of goal in terms of your being part of a lawful permanent residence once you get your EB1A approved. So you need to put across those points, and personal statement is your best bet for this actually. So without a personal statement, so it should have a very, very detailed plan of action. I mean, mostly we always suggest do it a short-term plan, we do it a long-term plan, you do what you intend to do. It should have technical matrices. If you are doing a job, you should kind of mention that. So that's the way I think the relevance of personal statement is. And one day, I mean, I'm very sure shortly we will talk about a personal statement also. And for the benefit of all, I mean, let's understand that this particular, sessions that we do every week here, and we are going to kind of start another, sort of a series wherein we are going to have a webinar actually here. So let's do it from that perspective. And so where we would take about the how to draft a personal statement also actually. So we are going to very soon start a webinar, and there we'll take a personal statement. So let's start with that. Let's kind of have a next question now actually. I hope this answers the personal statement and its relevance and its importance. So let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. So our next question, they ask, what type of impact metrics are most persuasive? I have over 20 plus years of experience as a program manager. I've contributed some original contributions to my field and have been writing several publications with high citations. Are these good to move forward, or am I missing any metrics?
Impact metrics are not just contributed to original contribution to my field and have been writing several publications. Is not so. What is the impact of your writing? How many people have read it? What has been the industry thought process about your article or whatever contributions that you have made? What did it increase sales? Did it increase citations? Did it increase some kind of a research? What exactly are we talking about? Because this seems program manager in what discipline we are talking about. Has the impact been so? Basically, you need to prove the originality. You need to prove a major significance in terms of academic significance or an application significance. And then you have to define those metrics actually. By just using the word impact metrics, it is not going to be sufficient actually. So you need to get more granular into it. So I do not want to comment that these are good to move forward and am I missing any metrics? What are the metrics? Metrics don't mean initiatives. Metrics means the quantification or a qualitative feature of those initiatives. So if you have written an article, what do people are talking about it? If you have done judging, if you say the criticality, how do you define criticality and how does it kind of matter? Can you quantify your, for example, when you talk about salary, the metrics are percentile, median, mode, average. These are called metrics. And we want to go more granular into it. Okay? So I think this question needs a little, more understanding. But what includes some metrics? Let's move to the next question.
Sure thing. So the next question is, what are common misconceptions around awards and memberships? Is it true that if I am a senior level IEEE member, will this help my chances of obtaining EB1A?
Well, the common misconception is that any discrete point will help you. And another about award is that any discrete point will help you to get any, for example, any particular specific membership. No, it is a sum total of everything put together is going to help you, not an individual discrete point, say a membership only or something only. If at all something only is going to help you, it is going to be a Nobel Prize, Oscar, or Olympic. Rest for everything, there is a collective contour that is being considered actually here. When we look about is what are the common misconceptions. I mean, internal awards would be suitable. That is normally considered to be, oh fine, I would get it because I got the best company award. My company has, 200,000 employees, so I should be getting it. No, it won't work like this actually. First, for an award, it has to be a global award, international award. It has to be open for everybody else. So this is the way by which this can be considered, not at an individual level. And as far as membership, answering your specific question, it may be good, it may not be good, based on what is the totality that is being looked upon. And even for a criteria, no single one membership would be suffice actually. Okay, so let's be, fair to EB1A, if I may say so. This is not going to be sufficient in that sense. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Yeah, certainly. So the next question they ask, what qualifies as legitimate judging or peer review experience? Would actually help my chances at working on my profile, or is it a moot point?
Okay, nothing is a moot point. I have always suggested that either you kind of take it in a criteria or take it as a final merit determination. So having said that, this is not a moot point. Now, when it comes to judging, ordinarily it should be external to your company. Basically, you are getting EB1A because there is a recognition and impact on the field. Without that, just working for a single company would not be sufficient actually. So legitimate judging would be something where you have been invited externally by virtue of your expertise, and that is going to help you. Okay, so yes, definitely it is going to help you for your EB1A case actually. So please don't consider this as a moot point. If it is an internal and part of the job, that may not add any credibility or value, but otherwise, yes, it makes a difference. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Absolutely. So the next question is, I applied for an asylum and I have an EAD, but I was good at sport, but I was a good sports player in my country. Can I apply for EB1A? If my application is denied, then what is the next step?
Let me kind of take these questions independently actually. Can I apply for EB1A? The answer to that is yes, anybody can apply. Are you in the US or are you outside the US? It also depends on that. If my application is denied, you can either apply again. This has to the best of my understanding, this has no bearing on your asylum application. Talk to a lawyer for this actually. And if you have EAD, I am assuming that you are in USA and you are working somewhere at least. So if you are a good sports player is not sufficient. What has been the level and what you intend to do? Let us connect this to the first question. I think you will have to give a personal statement in what you intend to do and how US will benefit out of it. By being you being a sports person. So either you will kind of attempt to be a coach, you will be attempting to be a, representing the country, then can you get some representation or a letter for your recommendation from a competent authority who would say that you would be representing the US in an international forum or something like this, that would help. Okay? So yes, you can, but just being good is not sufficient. It needs to be proved that you would have reached or arrived at a level of competence or level which is one of the top in the field. Your expertise. That's the requirement. Okay, let's move to the next question.
Yeah, certainly. So the next question they ask, I need help getting featured in media attention. How would the Next Lead program help with this?
Oh, well, this is a very nice question. We don't help. We are not a media agency to help you. We tell you how to position your work, and if that could be competent enough you would be competent enough to do it. If you have to reach out to journalists, what should be a line of communication that would attract the journalist actually? Now, this is the way how your kind of a feature or anything can be undertaken by a journalist. It should appeal. How to reach a level of excellence that will attract the attention of a journalist. We have had an experience of a lot of people getting represented in Forbes and other things. I myself, when I was, working before and I was considering my own EB1A, I have written over 3 to 500 articles. I have been featured in a lot of media from CNBC to print and electronic both actually. And I would have done some shows also in the past. So, based on my experience, I can share with you how it is possible. And the next week program becomes a manifestation of multiple people's successes. It is not about just one success or Ranjeet got it and he will help, you to get it or Mario to get it or Syria to get it. It's a manifestation of multiple people's successes. Now we have 58 people who have got it. So we would help you based on that. But definitely, if you are coming in that we will print your get it printed, that is wrong because you cannot get printed if anything about you to be published if it is not worth being published. Your work should be really distinct and honorable to be worth to be published. Okay, so let's move to the next.
Sure thing. Another aspirant share with us. I am working in a tech company specializing in health products for EB1A. How many recommendation letters are enough? Is the expert letter and recommendation letter the same? What should be written in a recommendation letter? And do you assist with a recommendation process?
Okay, when we say whether we'll help you, we have, after having studied over 1,000 cases, after having, met at least 100 achievers, now 50 to 60 are from our own program actually here. We can definitely help you to draft give you a certain framework that has stood the test of the time. Based on my experience as a CEO, how institutions have worked, how to deal with institutions, that is something that I can definitely kind of tell you. But coming back to how many recommendations or letters are required, it all depends on your criteria. One thing is certain, each recommendation letter to refer to one particular criteria. So depending on the intensity of your petition, you can do multiple. And having said this, what is the next that we are talking about is expert letter and recommendation letter are the same? No, they are not the same. Expert letters are ordinarily from independent professionals. Those who would not know you, but you are presenting their work to them and they are talking independently to USCIS based on your caliber, based on what they think of your work is. And recommendation letters are more specific to your case rather than merely your work. And ordinarily, the companies, if you are applying for critical role, then that would be a recommendation letter. Generally, if you want a rule of thumb, I would say, at least 9 to 10 letters should be useful and helpful. While I have also seen some people getting multiple letters also. Some people have got even 5 to 7 letters. Some people have got 10 to 12 letters, which is most of the mode, I would say that. Letters I have seen. But some people got as high as 20 plus letters also. And even more. So it all depends on how strong the case you could possibly get. But anything beyond that would be may not be required. Let's put it that way. May not be required. So I think this answers the question that how many recommendation letters are enough. Is the expert letter and recommendation letters are the same, and what should be written? In fact, coming back to this topic again, one day I think apart from personal statement, we would be doing a webinar very soon on various topics. So this will be a last session of a series that we are talking about today, most likely. And from next Saturday, we'll be starting a webinar. And one day we will definitely take up how to draft a recommendation, how to draft a personal statement, and how to present each case. So, in all possibility, we are going to take next week a topic on individual criteria, how to choose your criteria, and then we will start getting into a depth of those topics. Okay? So that's how I would like to say this. And before we conclude, let's take the last question.
Yeah, absolutely. So our last question, they said they've spent a lot of money on a lawyer for EB1A. They received an RFE and made a strong response, but they were still denied. They applied for 8 out of the 10 criteria and worked on this for over the past year. What would you recommend to do in the next in this situation?
See, there is a lot of speculation in this question and a lot of hypothesis that we'll have to assume before we even come to the conclusion. What is your expertise? What was represented and what was done and what was not done? So we cannot just estimate it based on this. Actually, the questions which are coming here. What would you recommend? Definitely, you should apply again, but your case will have to get strengthened. So I would suggest that reach out to us. We will be able to help you to analyze your case and try to tell you how best to kind of help you. But this question is too generic for us to give any generic guidance to you, actually, because this we made a strong response. What do you mean by strong response? Actually, the fact that it has been denied, unfortunately. We applied 8 out of 10. Did you get an RFE or a NOID? How many criteria have been approved? What was presented as an evidence? Is it because of criteria or because of final merit determination? We'll have to analyze each and every aspect. Okay, so let us wait. And meanwhile, as I said, that we are going to start a series on webinars on various topics, like how to choose your EB1A criteria, how to choose your and where we will invite an active participation of all the people here who are wanting to be part of next week program. And this is how kind of in the webinar also, actually. And there will be various topics and various interesting topics starting next Saturday. So wishing you all the best, and we'll be catching up soon again. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.